When we talk about Jeffrey Epstein, the conversation usually focuses on the man himself. But to really get what happened, we need to zoom out and look at something much, much bigger: the incredible system of influence he built and the powerful network he used to protect it.
And that right there, that really hits the nail on the head. This isn't just about one person's terrible actions. It's about how things like influence, access, and power can mix together, usually way out of sight, to create a system that's just incredibly hard to untangle.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How on earth did he build this network and get so much power? To figure that out, we have to kind of peel back the layers, step by step, to see how this thing was constructed, and maybe even more importantly, how it was kept hidden for so long. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. The foundation of all his power really comes down to two things: getting access to exclusive circles, and then shaping how everyone in those circles saw him. He definitely didn't start at the top. His career actually began in education as a teacher. But then he made this pivotal jump into the world of finance, and that really set him on a totally new trajectory. That was the key, you see. It put him right next to very wealthy people and gave him his first real shot at getting into their world. And make no mistake, the way he built this access wasn't an accident. It was a system. He was brilliant at putting himself right at the crossroads of influence and opportunity. By going to all the right parties, building relationships with powerful people, he basically manufactured this image of being a financial genius, even when nobody could really figure out where all his money was coming from. But, just getting in the room is one thing. Getting powerful people to actually trust you, that's a whole other level. It takes more than just showing up. So how did he pull it off? How did he embed himself so deep inside these networks? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle comes down to perception. He wasn't just another guy at the party. He was seen as the main facilitator, the ultimate connector. The belief was that he was the guy who could get you into even more powerful, even more exclusive networks. And that reputation, sure or not, made him incredibly valuable. It was his golden ticket to move among some of the most powerful people in the world. So once he built this incredible network, the game changed. It wasn't about building anymore, it was about protecting it. And that brings us to the mechanics of control. To protect this world he'd built, he relied on two things: secrecy and total control. Reports suggest he managed every little detail of his environment: who got in, what information was shared, how people interacted. He created this bubble, this fortress of information that was almost impossible for any outsider to get into. And this leads us to maybe the most disturbing question in this whole story. With a network this massive, with so many people involved, why did it all go on for so long without anyone really blowing the whistle? The answer, as it turns out, isn't simple, and it points to some huge systemic failures. It looks like there were three key factors that created a kind of perfect storm. First, you've got these major systemic gaps, things like weak legal processes and just terrible coordination between law enforcement agencies. Second, the network itself was so complex and so private that information was scattered in tiny pieces, hidden inside these very closed-off social circles. And third, there was a shocking lack of transparency. We're talking sealed court records, heavily blacked-out documents, all of which kept the full picture buried. Now, it's really, really important to be clear about this next point. Just because someone's name shows up in a flight log or an address book, that does not automatically mean they're guilty of anything. But the sheer number of these connections, the visibility of them, absolutely shaped how the public saw this, and it painted a picture of a massive system operating completely outside of normal rules. So as we start to wrap this up, you can see we're not left with a lot of easy answers. Instead, we're left with these huge, lingering questions about power, about secrecy, and about who is ever held accountable. When you boil it all down, this isn't just one man's story. It's really a case study in how systems work. It shows us how influence really operates in the modern world, and it's a brutal lesson in how hard it is to get to the truth when incredible power and deep, dark secrecy meet. And that leads us to the final, and maybe the most crucial thought. After looking at the network, the control, the systemic failures, you start to realize the most important question isn't just what happened, but how. How was it allowed to happen for so long? How was a system like this able to operate totally unchecked for decades? And answering that, well,
That forces us to look past just one person and start asking some really hard questions about the very structures of power and accountability in our society.